So this is it. Testosterone 101. How to boost testosterone naturally and how not to. I am so grateful to you guys. I've been getting a lot of people reaching out and interacting. I'm honestly shocked most of the time. Please keep reaching out because it means a lot to me and it gets me excited when you guys are kind of interacting. And I've been asked more than a few times now about testosterone. Now, part of this is because testosterone's an extremely important hormone, not just to men, but to women as well. And I'm not just talking bodybuilders, but it's also important because of the popularity of TRT today. Now, TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. You may also hear the term HRT, hormone replacement therapy, used. We're going to do a deep dive on testosterone today, all things, and hopefully we can both educate a little bit as to the good, the bad, and certainly the dangers, and also maybe give some people some insight on the things they may want to try naturally. Now, first, of course, we must have some disclaimer speak. Charlie needs to cover his butt here. I've got that Eastern European thing going on here, so I need SPF 5000 right about now to keep my tush from looking like a tomato. I am not a doctor. I am not your doctor. I'm not even qualified to look at a rash on your ass and tell you you should see a doctor. Testosterone is a hormone. It's not a joke. If you're even thinking about taking TRT or some other drug like that, you must talk to your doctor. You must take it seriously. Don't mess around with this stuff, guys. This can impact your life forever. Take what I say at most as some insight for thought, and at least I hope it's entertaining. So I'm going to quote Harvard Health here a bit on this today because they have some great pieces on testosterone. I'm going to link them in the references too if you want to read them yourself, and you should. Always be your own best advocate, right? We're going to get sciencey today, friends. What is testosterone? Testosterone is a sex hormone. Hormones are the body's chemical messengers. They travel from one organ or another place in the body, usually through the bloodstream, and affect many different bodily processes. Testosterone is the major sex hormone in males. It is essential to the development of male growth and masculine characteristics. What does testosterone do? Now, testosterone plays multiple important roles in the body for men and females. For men, specifically, it's development of the penis and the testes, deepening of the voice during puberty.
That's why my voice is so deep. I'm up to my eyeballs in this stuff.
Appearance of facial hair and pubic hair starting at puberty. Later in life, it may also play a role in balding. There's no way I'm taking TRT if it means I'm losing my locks, man. I'll lose my power without my hair. Testosterone obviously contributes to muscle size and strength. This is the most well-known one, I think, and we'll talk about this one in depth. Bone growth and strength, sex drive or libido, sperm production in men. There's also science supporting that testosterone may play a healthy role in mood. That's a couple of things that testosterone does. It sounds like the whole conversation will be focused around men due to the seemingly masculine properties associated with testosterone, but in healthy amounts, testosterone is also very important for women as well. For women, it's produced in the ovaries, however, and the adrenal glands, and it's actually one of several androgens or male sex hormones found in females. These hormones are thought to have important effects on ovarian health, ovarian function, bone strength, and possibly sexual behavior and libido as well. But once again, per Harvard Health at least, the evidence is not conclusive. So when we think women and their reproductive health, we always think the ovaries, and the proper balance between testosterone, along with other androgens, and estrogen is very important for the ovaries to work normally, to function. Let's put an exclamation on it clearly for women who want not just to have good muscle gain and bone health, but healthy functioning reproductive ability as well. We don't want to discount the importance of testosterone here. And before we talk about testosterone and potentially improving it, or maybe not, how not to, we want to talk about some reasons why we don't want low testosterone, abnormally low. The coffee is so good, guys, but I'm drying my voice out here. I gotta switch to electrolytes. Rehydrated and feeling great. Low testosterone has been shown to cause loss of muscle mass, lowered libido. It can cause breast tissue to develop in men in a condition called gynecomastia. Doesn't sound fun to me unless that's something I suppose you want. Who knows? It can cause irritability, poor mood. It can cause depression. So again, we definitely want to be maintaining healthy levels of testosterone to avoid these symptoms. It's also been shown abnormally low levels of testosterone can lead to all kinds of disease as well. It's not just a biceps and a mood thing with testosterone. There are legitimate health concerns with testosterone levels that are too low. Now, abnormally high levels of testosterone is not so great either. In fact, they may be just as, if not more problematic. And we're going to have a side note here. You probably figured this already. Abnormally high levels of testosterone is not generally, normally, or particularly a natural occurrence in men. I'm not saying it doesn't happen or it never happens. I'm saying the vast majority of men who have abnormally high and likely unhealthy levels of testosterone are using or abusing testosterone or other anabolic steroid hormones. Can't say it can never happen naturally, but that's not usually what these studies are seeing. Why don't we want super levels of testosterone? Enormous superhero muscles, right? Well, not so fast. Abnormally high testosterone can cause low sperm counts, shrinking of the testicles, and impotence. This is also the case with anabolic steroids because by artificially giving your body a source of testosterone, and much more than the necessary amount, you're telling your body it don't need to make so much. Not good. Abnormally high levels can also cause heart muscle damage and increased risk of a heart attack, prostate enlargement with difficulty urinating, liver disease, acne, fluid retention with swelling of the legs and feet, weight gain, perhaps in part related to increased appetite, high blood pressure and cholesterol, insomnia, headaches, increased risk of blood clots, stunted growth in adolescence. That means you kids don't go near this crap. Uncharacteristically aggressive behavior, aka roid rage, that's the mood stuff for you. Other mood swings, euphoria, irritability, impaired judgment, delusions. And oh yeah, another side effect is also increased muscle mass. Well, the increased muscle mass sounded pretty good before you heard the 49 other awful things that come along with it. That's the nerdy sciencey speak. I wanted to list all those crummy side effects because I want you to know how serious it is. Now, we know what testosterone is now. We know what it does, and we know the implications of levels that are too high and levels that are too low. We also know people who take testosterone or other synthetic versions of it as anabolic steroids are usually doing it for two reasons. Either A, they're replacing a low level of testosterone, which is what TRT or HRT should be used for when not abused, or B, they're simply wanting to take more testosterone to build more muscle because they want to be more swole, bro. And I shouldn't say just bro either, because plenty of women are using testosterone today as well to build muscle. I'm not just talking bodybuilders. We don't want to be doing dangerous things. We never want to be breaking the law. Don't be an idiot. Here's the part you're waiting for. If you want to boost your testosterone, hopefully in a healthy way, naturally, what you can do that works and what I simply recommend you do not do. Disclaimer here. I know I do not look like an IFBB pro bodybuilder or the Incredible Hulk. I am not so impressive, but I'm stating this for the record because you should know I am somewhat biased. I do not take testosterone, TRT, HRT, elemental P, or anything else to artificially raise my testosterone. I do not take anabolic steroids. I do not take these things predominantly for two reasons. One, in many ways, because I regard myself as health conscious and I just don't think it's worth it. And two, I am way too chicken to deal with half of those side effects I mentioned. Sacrificing my health for bigger biceps or a bigger bench press is not worth it to me. I'm not a competitive athlete. I am not judging anyone who feels differently, but I want to be clear as someone speaking to you guys, to me, it is simply not worth it. However, I am happy to say I do get my blood work done annually, and I do have what's considered pretty high testosterone. I mean, not steroid or TRT levels, but high levels. And there's a couple of things I do, and I'm going to let you know the things that I think work to keep your levels healthy and things that I don't think are worth your time. Also, keep in mind, please, normal levels of testosterone are going to vary from person to person. Some people are going to be at the lower range of normal. They're going to feel fine. They're going to be building muscle. They're cool. Some people might not be, but here's a couple of things you can do, maybe supplement wise, lifestyle wise. Some things I do, some things I don't do, but I've heard of that are pretty promising. I 100% recommend blood work if you're going to do any of this stuff because seeing deficiencies can help you figure things out too. Number one, so if you're deficient in zinc and magnesium, supplementing them can certainly help. Now, this is a more indirect effect, but if you're deficient in those minerals, it can affect your testosterone levels absolutely. Two, vitamin D and cholesterol as well. We want to make sure vitamin D and cholesterol are at healthy levels. Low levels of the two of them can also impact your testosterone big time, not to mention your mood. Cholesterol in particular is a precursor to testosterone. This is one of the reasons that people have problems with testosterone when they start taking statins. Be aware if you are. Number 3, you 100% need to talk to your doctor before taking this one. Don't take it blindly. Andrew Huberman talks about this one a bit. That's where I first heard about it. Tonga Ali. It's an Indonesian ginseng. It reduces sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG. So basically, sex hormone binding globulin, this and albumin bind to testosterone. In normal amounts, this is good. It regulates the distribution of testosterone. But you don't want too much of those two things because it can impact your free testosterone. Free testosterone is the most metabolically available, the most active. Only a small percentage of your testosterone is free, and that's fine, but you really want a healthy amount and ratio of free testosterone, SHBG, and albumin. Tonga Ali appears to be able to help with that. Talk to your doctor before you take that one. Number 4, boron. There are some reports the mineral can also help reduce SHBG, or sex hormone binding globulin. This can help your free testosterone. You want to pay attention to the prostate effects if you're a male, because that can be something that is a concern with metals. Now, those were a couple of things you can do that involve supplements. Not everyone wants to take a supplement or a pill. I get it. Supplements can sometimes have side effects as well. We kind of spoke about that with the minerals, the prostate and whatnot. The Tonga Ali is a whole other category because it's a ginseng. I also know people who would prefer to get everything they need from their diet. So I'm going to give you some natural things you can do as well that are a bit safer. Number 1, make sure you have a balanced diet, but in particular, make sure you're getting enough fat. It's going to vary from person to person, but hormonally, fat is very, very important. This is why, if you've watched other episodes, I always recommend people make sure they're getting enough fat to begin with after protein, then fill the rest of the calories with carbs. So when you're really moving your calories up and down, you're mostly adjusting carbohydrates. Your protein and your fat should be pretty stagnant. You need ample calories and ample fat for healthy test levels. Number 2, we're talking about it again, guys, if you watch the first segment. Lift weights, lift heavy weights. Strength training can impact your test levels a boatload. We talk so much on this show about the benefits of strength training, of course, with adequate recovery and good sleep. And this is just another amazing benefit of lifting heavy weights. So yes, strength training can absolutely help with your testosterone levels as well. Get off that elliptical machine, kid. Number 3, adequate sleep. We have a whole sleep-centered episode I'm working on as we speak for you guys. We're going to dive more into this for sure. But for now, I want to share this with you because we're talking testosterone. If you are one of those people who feel like you'd like to have a higher testosterone level, and you also think you can stay up till 1 a.m. in the morning playing video games, I hope we get another Arkham Knight game soon, man. And then you end up getting like only 4 hours of sleep. Your testosterone can absolutely suffer. Sleep quality is essential, so essential for hormone function. Your circadian rhythms, of course, impact this as well. And yes, testosterone function. So prioritize sleep. I can't emphasize it enough. We don't talk about it enough. My testosterone levels were very high a few months ago before a baby girl was born and I was sleeping. I'm afraid to get them checked now. Nah, I'm just kidding. I feel great. But still, if they were affected, I wouldn't be surprised because that's a big one. Now, a reason for this is poor quality and duration of sleep can cause an increase of cortisol, which can throw off your testosterone levels. Long walks are great for getting better sleep and lowering your cortisol. Now, I want to be clear about this too. We've talked a lot about cortisol on the show and the demonizing of it. Cortisol in itself is not bad, but we don't want it to be thoroughly high all day. We want peaks and valleys over the course of the day. We generally want higher cortisol in the morning and lower cortisol at night. If your cortisol is too high at night, you're potentially going to have problems sleeping. I will link that episode for you guys. Number 4, are you in a caloric deficit? How long have you been in a caloric deficit for? And are your body fat levels too low? Too low a body fat percentage, as well as a dietary fat allowance, can surely affect your testosterone levels. This doesn't mean you shouldn't try and lose weight, as obesity can also affect testosterone. If you are obese, this is not your problem. But if you're experiencing diet fatigue, if your libido is shot, if you're tired, if you're not as strong in the gym as you've been, You may want to look at how long you've been dieting for. Easy answer, go on a maintenance cycle or a reverse diet. We'll link to those episodes. Get those hormone levels back up and then get back to losing fat. Number 5, stress. How stinking stressed are you, kid? Stress can abso-freaking-lutely be a testosterone killer. This is a tough one to combat. I don't know if I can combat this one half the time. How do you not be more stressed? I mean, it's like, don't think of a pink elephant. It can be hard to do. It's a stressful world, you know? I can only share with you what I do. I meditate in the morning. I take a few stress fighting supplements like CBD oil, L-theanine. I journal. I write things out. I also recommend if you're going through something, talk to a doctor, talk to a therapist. It can do wonders for you. I think that's why I put extra emphasis on mental health and feeling good on this show. So I hope this show makes you feel good. And I hope you can use some of the things in this show to feel even better. That would make me feel really good. All right, now let's talk about a sensitive subject, TRT. Again, I'm not your doctor. Talk to a doctor. Doctor, 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 doctor. I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to anything I say. So what's TRT? Testosterone replacement therapy is a prescription treatment that restores normal testosterone levels in men with low testosterone or hypogonadism. So, TRT is testosterone replacement therapy, hence the word replacement. TRT is not for men who have already normal levels of testosterone or aren't suffering from symptoms of low test. If you're taking testosterone and you don't need it, you're basically just looking for an excuse to take steroids. You're abusing these drugs. I'm not judging you, but let's call a spade here. Kids, stay the hell away from it, and parents, make sure your kids stay the hell away from it. I would prefer it wasn't abused by anyone in my opinion, but kids in particular, that's a sensitive one for me. I think TRT is really for men who may be getting later in life and may be dealing with the symptoms of lower testosterone. It doesn't mean younger men can't be dealing with that, and TRT is not necessary, but I myself would never even remotely consider taking something like it unless I found myself in the situation where I was suffering from it and I exhausted all my other options. I think that for younger men taking it today, again, not that they won't need it, but they should be the exception to the rule. That is, should not be a normal thing. So yeah, there's a normalization of taking this stuff today that I don't like at all. It pisses me off. I see kids on social media bragging about it like it's a cool thing to do, or taking other ridiculous videos of themselves relating to this stuff. And this is not a multivitamin. This is not creatine, caffeine. This isn't fish oils. This isn't a new workout program. These are not supplements. These are hormones. And yeah, TRT can also be very dangerous. Now, I don't want to discourage people who need it and are talking to a doctor. Testosterone in healthy doses can be very safe when you're doing it the right way, when you're going to a doctor. And if you and your doctor decide you need TRT and you're exhausting other things, you should be hopeful. But TRT in abusive doses can have all kinds of nasty side effects. It can also have life-changing effects as well, as TRT can affect a man's ability to have kids. It can affect fertility. I mean, and men getting this stuff or women getting this stuff illegally makes it so much more dangerous because it can be contaminated with who the hell knows what. You don't know what you're getting when it's illegal. Don't be an idiot. And I shouldn't even need to say this, but I'm going to say it. Don't do anything illegal. Don't break the law. Don't be foolish. It's not worth it. It's unnecessary. Don't put your life in jeopardy for this stuff. And if you do need it, get it the right way with a doctor. Bad boys, what you gonna do? I used to love that show. I feel like if you didn't show up to the cops audition in a white undershirt, though, it didn't really matter what you did. You weren't getting on that show. You could have literally just robbed a bank. If you weren't in your underwear, they were just going to let you go with a warning. But I digress. Here's one of the biggest risks with TRT. Once you start taking this stuff, you are signaling your body not to make this stuff. If you take TRT for too long, you may be needing TRT for the rest of your life. Once your body thinks you've got testosterone coming in, it stops making it. So again, you're messing with hormones here, and if you start signaling to your body to stop making testosterone, perhaps even before you've had kids, if that's something you'd like to do one day, this can be an enormous mistake. There also can be more risk for heart disease and cardiovascular disease with abnormal levels of testosterone. There isn't necessarily enormous data to support that it's a risk, but when it's abused like that, it's a lot harder to say it's not a risk. Now, I also want to make a note about celebrities, public figures, and other people openly talking about their TRT use. This one might get me in some trouble, but this is something that personally bothers me a lot because people are getting the wrong impression and because a lot of people are just full of it when it comes to using TRT. First point I want to make, if you see someone jacked out of their mind, Hollywood celebrity that looks amazing, big muscles, ripped, whatever. Now, generally, I'm not saying always, but generally, people with abnormally low testosterone levels that would necessitate taking TRT are not enormously jacked. There is an exception to every rule, and there are scientific abnormalities I am sure of in this department. But remember the whole part about testosterone and muscle growth? So if you have like none of it, you're likely not looking like a Greek god. Here is a conversation you might have heard either on TV or the internet or wherever the hell you do things. Oh, yeah, I was jacked out of my mind. I looked like I had a physique that was borderline unattainable naturally. And I decided to go get my test levels checked. Holy cow. I was 250 pounds of muscle with 8% body fat. And this whole physique I found out was built with ultra low testosterone. My test was in the toilet. So now I'm on TRT and I feel amazing. Right. Yeah. So again, generally people who are in the best shape of their lives, and these are the people aspire to look to, their test levels are not necessarily through the roof, but if you need TRT clinically, you're usually at a level or under 350 nanograms per deciliter. In layman's terms, that's low. That's really low. You need pretty low testosterone for a doctor to generally responsibly say you should take this stuff. Part of it is because you're probably not going to ever get to stop taking this stuff. So now let me give you the scenario that probably happened. Again, you should never take steroids and you should never break the law. But this is a hypothetical. If I'm an actor and getting ready for a role and I take steroids and I get jacked out of my mind, oh my God, look at him. What does my body potentially do when I stop abusing steroids? Well, my body stops making testosterone. So if I got in amazing shape taking steroids and then I stopped and then I got my blood work done, it's quite reasonable my testosterone levels could be in the figurative toilet. So what actually happens in many cases is person abuses steroids, person gets in great shape, person's natural testosterone levels plummet, person doesn't feel good after going off steroids. Person goes to the doctor, person gets blood work done, and then the doctor's like, oh, wow, you look like a colossus and you have no testosterone. That's so weird. I guess you need TRT. I'm not saying doctors are responsibly saying that or doing that. I don't think most doctors would go near that. And again, if you want to raise your testosterone levels naturally, you can try some of the things I suggested. Of course, if you have serious issues with testosterone, that's only something you and your doctor can make a decision on. And if you're considering TRT, even if it's right for you, please be careful. It may be a great choice for you, but it also may be a mistake that you're dealing with for the rest of your life. I also want to say, if you are legally, of course, taking TRT or other forms of testosterone, I'm not judging you. I'm not looking down on you. That's at best a necessary choice for you to make, or at worst, that's just your choice to make. It's your life. I just want to make sure people know the dangers of this stuff before they even consider it, especially where it's so normalized today. We see so many younger adults abusing this stuff. And as a father, this is very important to me. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about testosterone naturally increasing it? And what do you think about this stuff with TRT? What do you think about how it's being normalized today? Do you have experiences with it? Would you share them? I would love to hear from you.